This is the most twisted doctor I've ever seen at a psychiatric hospital. He kidnaps young, beautiful girls and brings them back to the facility. Inside that place lies a horrifying secret. Even completely sane people, once taken there, are abused until they lose their minds. After some time, male patients are secretly taken into the operating room and have their organs harvested. Female patients become obedient tools to satisfy his sick desires. Today, his target is a beautiful girl named Suha. While she's walking through the city center, two large men suddenly grab her and violently drag her into a van. Passers-by hear her desperate screams but only watch, because the van belongs to the psychiatric hospital. Suha is kidnapped in broad daylight and taken to a dark room. Before she can say a word, she's dragged into a bathroom, stripped naked, and scrubbed harshly with a toilet brush. Then they force her into a patient uniform. A man in a white coat introduces himself as Director Yun-sik and tells her to rest well so she can be discharged soon. That's when Suha realizes she's being labeled as mentally ill and locked up. She struggles and screams, trying to explain she's not crazy. Seeing she won't cooperate, the director signals his men. As soon as he leaves, Suha is dragged into a corner and beaten badly. While unconscious, she sees her mother staring at her, as if trying to say something. When she wakes up, she's barely breathing on a hospital bed. A male caregiver named Dong-sik walks in, removes the gag from her mouth, unties her, and tells her to obediently take her medication if she wants to be released sooner. Suha grabs his hand and begs for help, insisting she's not insane. But Dong-sik has heard that from everyone brought in, every single one claims they're sane. When he refuses to believe her, she snatches a pen and paper and quickly writes down a phone number, asking him to call for help. He immediately takes the pen back and warns her not to use sharp objects. A tall man passing by sees that she hasn't taken her medication and scolds Dong-sik before forcefully shoving the pills into her mouth. When she resists again, the director shows up, pretending to calm things down. But the moment Suha asks who sent her there, his expression changes. Instead of listening, he doubles her dosage and threatens that if she refuses to take it, she'll be beaten even worse. With no other way to survive, Suha temporarily complies. Over time, she realizes that after taking the medication, her mind becomes unstable. Other patients grow increasingly insane too. Those who are healthy begin to lose their sanity. She senses that something dark is hidden within this place. Observing quietly, Suha notices many patients being wheeled into the operating room and never coming back out. On the surgical tables are organs of unknown origin. She understands that the hospital is just a cover, forcing sane people to appear mentally ill, then harvesting their organs to sell on the black market. If she wants to survive, she has to escape. But every attempt ends in failure and brutal beatings. In desperation, she begs Dong-sik for help again, but he says he's powerless. Everything requires the director's approval. Then a turning point appears. Among the abused patients is one woman who seems to live relatively comfortably. Every night at 11 p.m., her door opens by itself. She goes into the director's office, lights scented candles, takes a pill he gives her, and submits to him. Mi-do reveals there's a secret passage inside the hospital, but only the pervert in the next room knows exactly where it is. Unsure whether the information is reliable, Suha decides to take the risk. At midnight, she softly knocks on the wall. The lecherous man appears through the vent, revealing yellow-stained teeth. He demands that she shower with him the next day in exchange for the information. Desperate to escape, Suha agrees. He tells her the passage is in the director's office and that the password is 4 4s. After getting what he wants, Suha bites him hard, making him scream and drawing attention. In the chaos, she runs to the office. When she enters the password, an alarm goes off. At that moment, she hears Mi-do humming a song while tapping on the wall in rhythm. Realizing that rhythm is the real password, Suha quickly enters it, and the door opens. She finds the secret passage hidden behind a bookshelf. But just as she's about to escape, the director comes back. Suha climbs down an emergency pipe, but she's too weak and slips, her skin torn open by a sharp metal bar. Blood drips down and gives her away. The director loses his mind and orders everyone to chase her. Suha falls from the 5th floor and blacks out. When she wakes up, she follows the tunnel and crawls out through a door, her last chance at survival. She stumbles down the street. Even when she sees 2 plumbers nearby, she doesn't dare ask for help. At this point, she trusts no one but the police. Eventually, she makes it outside. Covered in blood, barefoot in the middle of the street, but people only avoid her gaze. No one dares to approach. Suddenly, an ambulance stops in the distance. Fear flashes across her eyes. She turns and runs as fast as she can. People immediately chase after her. Suha runs into the road trying to stop cars, but none of them slow down. Just as she's about to lose all hope, a police car stops right in front of her. Sitting in the back seat, she lets out a breath of relief, thinking she's finally been saved. But after receiving a phone call, the police take her straight back to the psychiatric hospital. The heavy iron doors close, hiding Suha's helpless, desperate eyes, along with the fragile hope she had just regained. At that moment, everything becomes clear to her. There is only one person powerful enough to command the police and collude with the director to frame her stepfather, a powerful police chief. Driven by greed, he married her mother for her property, drugged and assaulted her. Not long after, her mother died, and he set his sights on the land in her name. Sending Soo-ha to the psychiatric hospital was clearly his way of taking everything. The director dared to run illegal operations because the chief was backing him. Power and greed together created this living hell. When Soo-ha wakes up again, she's lying on an operating table. The patient next to her has just finished surgery. She's next. At that moment, Dong-sik rushes in to help. In his panic, he drops a box containing harvested organs and finally sees the horrifying truth with his own eyes. He tries to stop the surgery but is slapped hard across the face by the director. Tears well up in his eyes. He almost gives in, but when he sees Soo-ha's desperate gaze, his conscience won't let him stay silent. He runs to the office, finds the phone number Soo-ha once wrote down, and calls it. The person who answers is her boyfriend, the man who has been desperately searching for her for days. The call brings hope. With the address given by a nurse, he tracks down the hospital, sneaks into the operating room, and saves Soo-ha. The three of them try to escape but are caught by the director. Furious, he attacks Dong-sik, then ties Soo-ha's boyfriend to the operating table, preparing to cut him open without anesthesia. No matter how Soo-ha begs, he remains cold and merciless. At exactly 11 p.m., Mi-do leaves her room as usual and walks to the director's office. But tonight, the room is empty. Not knowing what to do, she lights all the candles and begins to dance in the office. Suddenly, the flames spiral out of control and set the entire office on fire. When the director hears about the fire, he stops what he's doing and rushes into the flames to save his important documents. Soo-ha takes the opportunity to comfort Mi-do and free herself. Just as they are about to escape, the director stumbles out of the fire, only to collapse to the ground. His access card falls from his pocket. Dong-sik picks it up and, despite the danger, runs back inside to rescue others. Meanwhile, Soo-ha helps her injured boyfriend find a way out. Holding his hand tightly, she chokes back tears and says that as long as she has him, that's enough. But suddenly, the director, still alive, lunges forward and drags him back into the flames, wanting them to die together. Soo-ha screams in despair, but no matter how loudly she cries, he never returns. After the fire, Soo-ha is the only survivor left in the entire hospital. Bruised and broken, filled with hatred, she goes to confront her stepfather for revenge. But when she bursts into his room, she finds that he has already shot himself. As a result, Soo-ha becomes the only suspect. In despair, she sends the diary she wrote in the hospital to Nam-soo, a reporter from a news program. But by the time the diary reaches him, a year has passed since the fire. At that time, Nam-soo has been suspended due to a fake broadcast scandal. His director asks him to step back temporarily and assigns him a special program about bizarre cases, promising that if he performs well, he'll be reinstated. While choosing a topic, Nam-soo is drawn to a half-burned notebook, Soo-ha's diary. The more he reads, the more shocked he becomes. With years of experience, he knows this story could cause a massive stir. He visits the psychiatric hospital to investigate and discovers a man with a severely burned face. On his hand is a wing tattoo identical to the one described on the nurse in the diary. When Nam-soo mentions Soo-ha's name, the man suddenly becomes agitated. A police acquaintance tells him that Soo-ha claims she had once been detained in the psychiatric hospital, yet there are no records of her ever being admitted. And since there's no direct evidence that she killed her stepfather, the case cannot be closed. At first, when Nam-soo tries to interview her, Soo-ha refuses to revisit the past. But after several visits, she slowly begins to open up. Every time her stepfather is mentioned, she nearly breaks down, repeatedly insisting that she did not kill him. Nam-soo's sense of justice awakens. He decides to reinvestigate the case. During the process, he uncovers evidence suggesting that the police chief abused his power for personal gain and had ties to the hospital. However, the key witness, the nurse, suddenly disappears. Believing the diary is real and eager to bring the truth to light quickly, Nam-soo even fabricates an audio recording to prove that Soo-ha had once been imprisoned in the hospital. After the program airs, public opinion explodes. Netizens rally behind Soo-ha and protest outside the courthouse. Under intense public pressure, the authorities are forced to act. In the end, Soo-ha's 7-year prison sentence is overturned. She is declared innocent. But if you think the story ends here, you're wrong. Nam-soo picks Soo-ha up on the day she is released. During the drive, she silently gazes out the window. Before getting out of the car, she says calmly, "In a psychiatric hospital, you must never give patients sharp objects. Even a small pen can become a weapon." Then she smiles and walks inside. Nam-soo freezes. Without a pen. How did she write the diary? As he stands there lost in thought, Soo-ha slowly unzips her jacket, revealing a large scar across her abdomen. The truth begins to unfold. The one who had been locked inside the psychiatric hospital was not Soo-ha, it was her mother. Her stepfather had colluded with the director to have her mother committed in order to seize her assets. Her mother was brutally tortured. Meanwhile, Suha searched everywhere for her. She had even once called Nam Su for help, but he had hung up on her. That's why her name had sounded so familiar to him. After receiving a call from the nurse, Suha rushed to the hospital to save her mother but was discovered. The one who was nearly operated on for organ harvesting was Suha herself, which explains the scar on her stomach. The boyfriend never existed. He was simply a character she imagined and wrote into the diary. The person dragged into the flames that night wasn't her boyfriend, it was her mother. After her mother died, Suha went to her stepfather and shot him. The diary sent to Nam Su was also part of her carefully planned scheme. With the power of public opinion and the influence of the media, she was declared innocent, and inherited all of her mother's assets. In her new house, Suha wears a long dress, pours 2 cups of coffee, and stares out the window as if waiting for someone. Then, a knock on the door. She turns and looks at the security camera. The film ends there. No one knows who is standing outside, maybe her mother, maybe the nurse, or maybe just a stranger. But it no longer matters. Because Suha's lie has been accepted. And in the end, people only believe what they want to believe. That's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like. Thank you, and see you in the next video.